Hi, I'm Andrew, and I'll be facilitating the study protocol. This is Mark, and he will be taking notes. Today, we will be conducting a study for our I370 class. We are recording today to gather information through this usability testing. You'll interact with a paper prototype that we control, which will be put into several tasks to complete. So before we begin, I want to walk you through the informed consent for this study. This is part of our course project for I370 human-computer interaction, and your participation is completely voluntary. Let me explain what you'll be doing today, what to expect, and any potential risks. You'll be participating in a design study and will be observing and asking questions as you go. The main risks are minimal, but if at any point you feel uncomfortable or would prefer not to answer something, please feel free to stop. You can stop participating at any time without any consequences. If you have any questions after today, you can contact me or our professor, Katie Seek, at kseek.iu.edu. Now I want to ask you a few questions before we to make sure that we have your explicit consents before we start this study. Do you consent to participate in this study? Please answer yes or no.
Yes.
Do you consent to being recorded during this session?
Yes.
Do you consent to having clips from this video recording potentially used in classroom presentations as an example of participant interaction?
Yes.
Finally, do you have any other questions for us before we begin?
No.
All right. So I'll just take you into our first task. For task one, you are using a new app to explore and learn more about historical landmarks. To explore, you need to get to the profile page from the home screen and create an account. So as you walk through this, please feel free to think out loud and just walk us through your thought process.
Okay, you said that I'm using this app to explore for
You are using this app to explore and learn more about historical landmarks. First, to
okay.
explore, you need to get from the profile page to your profile page from the home screen and create an account.
Okay, so from the home screen, I would press this button because that appears to be a profile.
All right.
Um, and you said from the profile, I'd have to get
Just create an account as your
to
first
create an
task.
account. Okay. So I would enter an email and password and select confirm.
Right. So for your email, you got to type in an email there. Now you move on to your password. All right. And now you can confirm. Would you like to confirm?
I would like to
All
confirm.
right. Your account is now created. All right. So for task number two, you are exploring the small town of Washington, Indiana, and using a new app to scan QR codes on plaques around the city to learn about the history of local attractions. Using your app, find more information about the Daviess County Historical Society Museum and find a way to discover more landmarks.
Continuing from this page.
Yes.
Um, from here, I think that I would select the three lines here.
All right. And that brings up your hamburger menu.
Um, and you said from there I'm finding
You are exploring the small town of Washington, Indiana, and using a new app to scan QR codes on plaques around the city to learn more about local attractions.
okay, so I'll select scan
All right.
because I'm scanning barcodes.
That brings you to this page.
Perfect.
And then here is our plaque that you will use the phone to scan. Nice job. That scans, and then this loads you to this page. All right. Next, you want to get a closer look at Landmark 2 and learn more about it. So find your way to the map and learn more about Landmark 2. And after learning more about this location, save it to your favorite landmark so you could locate it later and possibly come back to it.
Okay, so I will select the three lines up here again
All right.
to go to the map.
Brings up this page.
Okay, and then I'll select landmark 2.
All right. And that zooms you into Landmark 2. That brings up more information about your landmark.
Well, this is already favorited.
All right.
Okay,
It says that.
okay. Well, I have it favorited. I'll select
Right here.
view and map. And I'll
Yeah.
oh, thank you. I'll select favorite here.
All right. And then that favorites your task. Now locate your saved landmarks list and remove an entry from this section.
Okay, I will select the menu up here again.
All right. That brings this menu back out.
And I'll select favorites.
All right.
And landmark 2. And then was I to view it in the map or just read?
Remove an entry from this section.
Okay, remove landmark.
All right. And then would you like to confirm that?
Yes, I would.
All right. And then this brings up your new favorited landmarks list. Finally, for your last task, you want to learn more about basic history of Washington, Indiana through the timeline. From the home screen, learn more about the history of Washington, Indiana.
Oh, wait. That is the profile, not the home screen. There we go.
All right. Find the burger menu here.
Timeline.
All right. And that brings up this page.
History exploration.
And now you get a brief history of whatever you're trying to look at, and this completes our tasks. So quick post-task questionnaire. If you think any task was difficult, how would you change our prototype to make it easier to understand?
Uh, I don't think that any task was necessarily difficult. Is it okay if I flip through?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the only thing that might have made this slightly confusing to me is that the profile button is in the top left-hand corner. I'm very used to websites displaying like a home page in that top left corner. And so when I'm thinking to go through the home page, which was listed in one of the directions, I don't typically think to go to the menu that's in the top right-hand corner.
Makes
But
sense.
other than that, though, it was all very clear.
All right. And how confident do you feel that you accomplished your tasks successfully?
Very confident.
How intuitive did you feel the interface of our prototype was?
I felt that it was pretty intuitive. It's very well thought out.
And finally, if you could change anything about our tasks, what would it be?
Um, hmm. I don't know that I would change anything. I think that the order of scanning from the plaque, going to the map, and then checking the timeline is a very good order of things. I guess maybe I'd consider going to the map before scanning just to check the location that I'm already in, but I don't know that that's fully necessary.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. That concludes our study. If you have any further questions, please feel free to direct them to me or my professor.